A small village in Missouri seems to have the solution in the fight against housing and homelessness. Today, we meet people who've been given a new life. Instead of just surviving on the streets, they now have their own tiny house, complete with patio.
I know that I don't want to go back to that.
Lyman is 52 years old. For 20 years, he had no fixed abode. He's now been living drug-free in the small village for 3 years. Instead of sleeping on park benches, they have cozy beds here.
It took a lot of pressure off moving in and having somewhere to go.
Ray is 38. After 5 years without a normal life, he now has a steady income and is taking responsibility for his children. Instead of soup kitchens, there is a real perspective here.
I love to cook, and I am going to be going to a culinary arts class.
At 31, Miranda is enjoying being part of a community for the first time in her life. She was homeless for 6 years. Sounds almost too good to be true. So who's behind it? And how is it financed? This is Nate. He runs the village. And he also has a first answer as to why reintegration works here.
What we have to have is a community safety net that picks people up when they've fallen down, just like a family safety net would work. And so we could have bought homes and scattered them all around town and stopped by once a month and checked on people. But we decided that a neighborhood was a healthier response to ending homelessness permanently.
And this is exactly what many institutions fail to do, in Germany too, although help is urgently needed.
Even village saved my life. They took me from out there out in the cold, man, and put me up in this warm house. I mean, this is the best that ever happened to me.
The residents of the community have one thing in common. They've all lived on the streets for years. The mission of the small village is simple. No one sleeps outside. Our editor, Julia, meets Miranda. 6 years of homelessness meant 6 years of hardly sleeping. The fear of being attacked was too great.
Okay, so this is our gate. Everybody that is a resident here, they scan our fingerprint. That way that we can get access to our homes, and that way that we have a secure gate so that people aren't just going in.
Every visit here has to be registered with social workers. Miranda invites Julia to her home. She's lived in one of the 30 houses for over 4 years.
It's beautiful.
Yeah. Would you like to look around? I have starter plants over here in the window because somebody donated some seeds, so got some herbs going on.
You're growing it because you're cooking?
Yes, I love to cook, and I am going to be going to a culinary arts class at OCC in the fall.
Those who move in here not only get a permanent place to live, but, like Miranda, also support in starting a career. For Miranda, the fact that she, of all people, was allowed to move in here is still unbelievable.
Why would they choose me when there's a bunch of other people that need that home?
Why did they choose you?
Because they see my worth.
Giving people back their worth is one of the goals of the social institution. Social worker Kelby decides who's allowed to move in.
The process of selecting them is really probably the hardest part of my job. So we kind of are looking for this intangible quality, if you will, of people that we think can live in community. They have to be chronically homeless, being that they have to have been homeless minimum of 1 year, or multiple incidences over the last 3 years. They need to have some type of disability, mental or physical, and they need to have the means to pay rent. Our rent here is $325. We don't have deposits, we don't have contracts. $325, and that's everything, utilities included.
Years of homelessness often lead to physical and psychological problems. For many residents, the US state compensates this with a payment of about €500 a month. Here in the village, this is enough to pay the rent. The concept also includes a village cemetery. Stay forever is taken literally here. The idea for this also came about through Miranda's story.
These are all the people that, including my daughter. I was hit by a truck in 2017 while 6 months pregnant, and she was born emergency C-section, and she passed away a couple hours after.
At that time still homeless, Miranda always carried her daughter's ashes with her in an urn.
2 years, and then I moved in here, and then shortly after I moved in here, they put the columbarium.
Here, Miranda was able to process all that. Now she has the strength to start her life anew. Lyman has also started his life anew.
Hi, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
Thank you for having me.
Well, have a seat.
Yeah, thank you.
Lyman is 52 and has spent half his life on the streets. Homelessness, he says, is something he just slipped into. Day centres and soup kitchens ensured his survival, but no one could help him in the long term until he moved to the village.
Eden Village is a very good place for people to start from the bottom of the ladder and want to change and turn their life around.
And residents can do that here from day one. Because each house is fully equipped before they move in. From the brand new microwave and washing up liquid right to the decoration, everything is there. So the residents can concentrate on themselves and more easily get accustomed to a life they hardly knew before. Lyman tells us what he appreciates most of all.
I can go to my refrigerator and I can cook whatever I want to. And I can take a shower anytime I want to, and I can relax.
The village is financed by donations and a clever trick. Over the last year, the facility has become a kind of franchise system. Eden Village in a box, so to speak. Those who buy a license get the tiny houses, help with buying land, and staff training. There are now 10 of them in the US, and demand is growing.
I won't forget where I've been, and I won't forget where I came from, you know. But I know that I don't want to go back to that. And so in order for me not to go back to that, I have to continue to stay humble and continue to just progress.
To continue to progress is something that very many of the people here manage to do. A study conducted over 5 years attests to the village above average success rate. 70% of the people who move in stay. A permanent home enables 25% to increase their income. 60% of the residents state that their health, both mental and physical, has improved. Having his own garden is something Ray would never have dared to dream of. And the project gives him the opportunity to finally earn his own money. He works in a factory.
So that's your home.
Yeah, so this is the living room / kitchen, which is pretty cool. I spend a lot of time in that chair with her. You know what I mean?
It's a comfy chair.
Yes, it is, actually. My second favorite place in the house. And it's the bedroom. When I get off work, I come in here and I try to relax.
Oh, it's cozy.
I think it took a lot of pressure off moving in and having somewhere to go. You know, I didn't have to be responsible for buying those things, so I was able to put my money in other places like books, transportation, stuff like that, you know, bus passes and stuff.
But the houses are not the only reason why this social institution is so successful. The community spirit is also a decisive factor. The central meeting place is the village's community centre. This creates a family-like relationship among the residents. Ray helps his neighbours where he can. Today, he's mowing the lawns for them. This is how he collects points for the village's own delivery service. If you order something here, instead of paying with money, you pay in points that you get for social competence and help. 1 hour of community service earns 10 points. Nate, the facility manager, always lends a hand. That's how he keeps in touch with all the residents.
What else for
Some granola and some of that 3M disinfectant.
Oh, the cleaner.
Yeah.
Okay.
So today we're filling up community store orders, and Daniel and Stephanie have volunteered with us and shown up to some important community meetings, and so they get store credits.
The things they buy cost something, so that the residents learn again that a community only works as a give and take.
Hey, thanks for volunteering this weekend.
No problem. Thank you.
There you go. Appreciate it. There's some laundry detergent.
Thank you.
We got some of the stuff you ordered.
Thank you. You're welcome.
All right.
Back at Miranda's, it was hard for her to fit into the community at first.
What was the biggest transition here?
It was people. Like, I secluded for a very long time because I grew up, it was easier for me to invert. And so learning to socialize and, conversate with people again, I guess, was kind of the biggest step for me.
Miranda was also able to open up to her neighbors because there are no prejudices here.
It feels great. It feels like I have a home, like I have a safe spot, and I have, people that I can relate to around me. My neighbors, they know what we've, gone through, and so they can relate on that note. They understand, and so you don't feel awkward or uncomfortable when you first get here. It's not I was homeless yesterday. It was, we've all been homeless, but we all have a home now.
The residents all agree. The organisation is a complete success.
From sleeping out there in the woods and all that stuff, to this, it's, still new to me.
It means the world to me. Give me a reason to keep fighting and keep going every day.
A small village in Missouri may be the beginning of something big.